Hi, it's Andy, Cloudy Mulder. Doing a competition response time for Farley's 200 subs competition this time around. Or Farley's Retro Fan Cave, I think you call it now. Great channel, been with us for a good few months now, always showing some great rock and metal. Also likes a bit of country and a bit of other things as well. But I'm mainly watching for his rock and metal updates, and he's done a couple of competitions now. All good stuff. This one was too good to miss. It's I think this might be a long one. There's 6 questions in all, and I think I'm going to ramble over a lot of them because I'm finding it very difficult to narrow down the answers. So I'm going to dive straight into it, but do check out Farley's channel, link above on this little eye thing, and one below. I'll put a link to the competition video as well, if I remember. But let's dive in. So the first question was about favourite album cover art. For me, far too many to choose from. One of the beauties for me of collecting records again is the artwork. It's not as much a part of the music, it's all about the music, but an album cover that you can lose yourself in and just find new things every time you look at it really appeals to me. So I'm not going to show one record. What I'm going to show is a bunch of records that I have from 2 particular artists that I love, pretty much all the work that they've done. First one is, unsurprisingly, as a big Iron Maiden fan, is Derek Riggs. I'm not going to show any of the albums. I think everyone's familiar with the albums. Probably most people are familiar with what I'm going to show here, but I've got a number of 12-inch singles with examples of what I like. So, Women in Uniform, it's 1980. Aces High from Power Slave album, 1984. I had a massive poster of this on my wall when I was a kid, and all the I had a load of other sort of magazine centerfolds from Metal Hammer and Kerrang all around it, completely saturating my wall, which was amazing. I've kind of forgotten about that, but Mr. Hall of Fame and his response to this, he just reminded me of that. And so yeah, Aces High, great cover. Probably not one of my favourite ones, but it's a Derek Riggs one, and it's a 12-inch single. I've got it. It's Wasted Years, but an excellent one. In fact, all the artwork, most of the artwork from Somewhere in Time, so Strange in a Strange Land, is all excellent stuff. So that's what I have in terms of 12-inch singles from Derek Riggs. The other artist that I think his work is amazing, has covered a number of different bands. I've got a selection of his work from the 80s, but he's been going from the 70s all the way up. Still going now, I think he's still alive. And that's Rodney Matthews. So these are a few covers of his work. He's done a lot of Magnum albums. So this is Chase the Dragon from 1982. One of my favourite ones of his is the Time Tells No Lies Praying Mantis. This is 1981, yeah. I didn't actually realise that Rodney Matthews did this cover. Just looking up to see, cross-referencing Wikipedia with what I had, and didn't realise he did Tigers of Pantan, Crazy Nights. So that was a nice find by doing this video. So there we go. Well, this is 81 or 82, I think. Date's not on the back. Cool. Anyway, not one of my favourite Tigers albums, but great cover. Borrowed Time by Diamond Head. This is a gatefold, so you get to see it picture in all its glory. Again, another Rodney Matthews classic. Back to Magnum on a Storyteller's Night. I think we're in 84 territory now. 85. Again, fantastic detail, and just something new every time you look at it can pop out and make you realise you maybe don't know it as well as you thought you did. And the last one I have from my 80s collection, again another Magnum. This is a compilation, I think. This is Mirador and this is from 80. I don't know where it's from. It's one of those 87. It's one of those great albums where the text is the same colour as the background of the album. But yeah, so Derek Riggs, Rodney Matthews. Take your pick out of those. I could choose any one and say it's my favourite album cover. Although the Derek Riggs ones were singles, but you know what I mean. Okay. Next up, so got a call to go to space. And there's a few items, an album, a movie, a book, and some food that we can take with us. And I was thinking about what I would do here. It's very difficult to pick one item of any of these, but this answer was a bit inspired by Billy Hurst's response. So he chose Armageddon as his movie, and that made me think that if you were going to save the world, you wouldn't call on one lone VC member to save the world. I mean, we're the vinyl community, so I guess they would send everybody they could because we work best as a community. So everybody that's responded to this competition, I expect will get the call up. In fact, I think this is probably some kind of selection process, and I, for one, am ready to serve. So those 4 things that I will take and share with my fellow VC brothers on the trip and sisters, if we get any responses. First one up, album. Again, very, very difficult to narrow it down to one, but push comes to shove, Holy Diver from Dio. There we go. Why? Because I love it. Every song on there. That's it. Movie. My movie I would choose. I was thinking probably Back to the Future, but Mel Ron is taking Back to the Future, so we can all watch that together. And then when it's my turn, we will put on a bit of classic sci-fi, The Andromeda Strain. Absolutely brilliant, gripping film. I think this was actually from 1971, which is the year of my birth. Yeah, and it's a great suspense thriller, I guess. It's about a world's first biological crisis. Probe goes up into space and comes back with something that starts killing everybody. Not a monster movie by any means. It's really about a bunch of scientists that are getting together in an underground safe facility to figure out what the problem is and save the world. And I've watched this so many times. In fact, I've not watched this version. I've just picked it up on Blu-ray. And I can't wait to see it again. I've not seen it for a couple of years now, but absolutely brilliant writing. I do love Michael Crichton's work. Which leads us on to the book. Now, again, I can't choose a book. There's so many books that I've read that I love. I tend to like, when it comes to fiction, kind of old school sci-fi. Not the sci-fi where it's all set in space and spaceships and things, but perhaps alternative reality on Earth, or different timelines and things going on that are a little bit related to maybe world events, but just that little bit different. So I've got a few examples of that. So not read this for ages, but something like K-Pax by Gene Brewer. Excellent book. Day of the Triffids. There was an early, I think it was BBC adaptation of this in the UK, like a 6, 7 or 8 part TV series that got me hooked on this. The book is brilliant, equally as good. The film's not so much. So there was a film, I think in the 50s or 60s, which isn't that great, and then another one that was Dougray Scott, I think, in it more recently, which is also a bit naff. But the BBC TV series, superb. The book is brilliant. J.G. Ballard is another one of my favourite authors. He does some great kind of situation novels. Concrete Island is basically based around in the 70s in the UK when they were started to build motorways, and A guy crashes, comes off the road, and he ends up in this island between junctions of a motorway, and he's broken his legs and he can't crawl out, and there's a whole community, and I'm not explaining it well, but J.G. Ballard, you might know him. He wrote Empire of the Sun, Christian Bale movie, when he was a kid, about his life in Japanese prisoner of war camps. But J.G. Ballard, another great author. Mentioned Michael Crichton already. Andromeda Strain, great book, slightly different to the movie, but still a great read. And Flowers for Algernon, and again, brilliant book. Daniel Keyes, recommend check that out. And anything by Philip K. Dick. It's amazing. He has done so many movies have been inspired by Philip K. Dick's work. If you don't know him as an author, Blade Runner, Running Man, Minority Report, Scanner Darkly, Paycheck, all movies that have been inspired by Philip K. Dick novels or short stories. But all those books I've read, a couple of them I've read 2-3 times, and I know them. And if I was going to go away on a long trip, I don't need to take them to read them because I remember the stories in my head. So I would be really, really dull and boring, and I would probably take something like this. This is the Guinness Book of World Soccer, and it is just basically a stat fest of association football stats from all the countries in the world in the golden era of football up until around early 90s, before money took over the game and kind of ruined it. But I could lose myself in here and just quote stat after stat to all my fellow trip people to kind of keep them sane, a bit like Rimmer would have done in Red Dwarf, for those familiar with that series. But yeah, it's not a book you could read cover to cover. It's a one you flick through, you come across a country, so where am I here? Flick it open. I'm on Belgium. I can learn all about the Belgian Football Federation. The fact that at the time there's 423,100 registered players. The most decorated team at the time was Anderlecht. You know, gold for me. What can I say? So that's my book. Food. So we're going as a team. I've looked through the other responses, to this that I know about. If you're a Channel Farley, and it seems that all the other guys, all the other entries have gone savoury. In fact, we've got a bit of a beef extravaganza going on. We've got, a few portions of lasagna, we've got burgers, we've got steak. There's also there's a bit of chicken Alfredo in there to mix it up, but it's all very beef oriented. So I'm gonna bring dessert. I'm more of a savoury guy than a sweet tooth, but we've got to have something for after. I think a lot of you know. So I live and work in Scotland, in Edinburgh. I'm not from here originally, but been here for about 10 years now, and it's a country I absolutely love and adore, and I'm very happy to live here. So I would bring along a dessert from Scotland. This is a Gaelic dessert called Cranachan, if I pronounced that correctly. It's a traditional Scottish dessert. It's made from whipped cream, proper whipped cream, and the canned shit. Whiskey, honey, fresh raspberries, with toasted oatmeal or like granola, that's soaked overnight in a bit of whiskey, and it's all kind of mixed together. It's kind of like a boozy trifle thing, but with whiskey. It's not for the dairy intolerant, but it is absolutely amazing. And to wash it down, so Ron said he's bringing the beer. That's great. So I'm going to bring a digestive for after. And how about a little bit of Talibardine Highland Scotch malt whiskey. This is a special edition, so it's not got an age on it. It's not 225-year-old whiskey. I'm not I'm not that rich. In fact, I don't think there'd be anything left after evaporation after that time. So there we go. That's my food. So we're going to have a hell of a trip in space, fellas. Right. So moving on. First concert. That was the next one. I'm I'm going to just do a brief cover of this because my first concert was 30 years ago this year, and it was on the 22nd of August 1987, and a bit nearer the date I'm going to do a little bit more of a probably do a little bit more of a video on this and my experience and talk about the bands a bit more. But my first ever concert was actually a festival, and that was the it doesn't say on here, but it's Donington Park. Bon Jovi were headlining, but this is the Monsters of Rock festival in Castle Donington in 1987, and quite a good story for me because I was only just turned 16 at the time, and it was a good sort of 3.5-4 hours from where I lived, and so Bon Jovi wasn't the band I went to see. Cinderella opened, so they were effectively the first band I ever saw live. They were followed by Wasp, Anthrax, Metallica, Dio, and Bon Jovi. So not a bad lineup for a first ever gig. But as I say, a bit nearer the 22nd of August, 2017. I think I've got a plan to do maybe a 30th anniversary video about that and see what I can record and pull together. I've still got the program and set list notes and all things that go with it. So if you're still interested around that time in August, check out that video. Finally, you wanted to know why I joined the vinyl community. I think I covered this in my intro video a long time ago. In fact, when I watched that intro video now, it seems like 10 years ago, not just over a year ago. I feel like it's a completely different person that I'm watching. Yeah, I kind of got back into listening to vinyl music records again in about 2014. A friend of mine, mad into records. He's more into this sort of extreme metal, sludge and that kind of stuff. But when I said I had a load of records in the loft, he said it'd be great to have a look at what they are, and I thought about selling them to him. Well, I went up, I got them down, and I started thumbing through them, and all the memories were streaming back, and I thought I've got to play these, so I ended up not selling him the records, but buying a record player, and then I started looking on YouTube, and I was looking at things like, how do I configure my record player properly? I'm trying to be a hipster, trying to get the best setup and what have you, and on YouTube I just came across some people that were showing vinyl, and I just thought it was a stupid thing to do to start with, but I found I was getting sucked in when I realised that people were showing music that I loved and enjoyed. So it was the usual. People have mentioned before. I think you guys know. So LJ, Scott Waters, Greeno, Homeless Rebel. They were all ones that I was watching for about a month or so, commenting on them. But I kind of felt a bit. It kind of felt a bit hollow, commenting on people, and they didn't know me, and they were commenting back. Everyone was very nice and what have you, as people are on the VC, but I kind of figured I wanted to get involved. I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to give my opinions. And the best thing about giving opinions on a camera is the camera doesn't talk back. Okay, people can talk back in the comments, but I love that as well. Just that interaction. Never really had a group of friends into the same music that I am. So just thoroughly enjoyed the last year talking music, talking metal. I've been introduced to a load of different styles. In fact, a couple of my favourite YouTubers, they don't even show any metal, or maybe just one or two occasional record. But yeah, it's just been a great experience, and really enjoying it at the moment, and long may it continue. Well, there you go, Farley. Again, check out Farley's channel. Put in an entry if you can. I think the closing date is Friday, and yeah, hope you enjoy that, Farley, and I will see you all again soon. Cheers, bye.